Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, and what you just watched was a little montage of what went down at the Puma evoPOWER Vigor 1 launch event, which was held in London, England. I was lucky enough to get invited. I attended the event, had a great time, so I figured I'd make a video kind of giving you guys an inside look of what went down at this press event and talk about the experience in general, because it was a pretty cool experience for myself personally. With that in mind, I was invited to this event by Puma. They paid for everything. It was 100% a free trip, so I'm very thankful to them for that. But I will say this as kind of a disclaimer. This does not skew my opinion of the brand. This does not skew my opinion of the specific product of this launch event that I attended, the evoPOWER Vigor 1. All of my opinions are 100% genuine, regardless of what gets sent to me for free, regardless of what trip I get sent on. If I think a product is good, I'm gonna say it's good. If I think a product is bad, I'm gonna say it's bad. So that's just straight up kind of a disclaimer that I wanted to give at the start of this video. So at this press event, they had a couple different people from the Puma brand, both representatives as well as, I guess, sponsored players, if you will. They had one of the members from the Puma marketing team from the headquarters in Germany. They had the director of team sports there who kind of gave the whole presentation about the new evoPOWER Vigor 1, which I'm gonna actually show you guys the whole presentation in its entirety. It's about 7 or 8 minutes long at the end of this video, so if you wanna watch that and see exactly what information was given about the shoe, as well as some short little interviews with the players, that is at the end of this video. And then speaking of players, there were 2 of them there, both from Arsenal, both obviously Puma endorsed athletes. The first being Olivier Giroud, who is arguably the bigger name there, and then the goalie, Peter Cech. So it was pretty cool to have both of them there. We did get to interact with them a little bit throughout the event. They didn't necessarily play with us in terms of actually kicking the ball. I think for obvious reasons. I would assume that it would be too big of a liability to kind of have them play in a 5-on-5 game or something like that. Just in case someone stepped on their foot or caused an injury, that would be a pretty big deal that they went to this Puma press event, a launch event of a shoe, and ended up hurting themselves and not being able to play for the big club who's paying them millions and millions of dollars. So obviously not something that ended up happening, which I guess a little bit disappointing, but kind of expected. But basically throughout this event, you guys could see how it was laid out at the start of the video. It was called the Forge, the actual building it was held in, and they laid down some turf in certain sections. There were 3 different sections and we were split up into groups. And we basically got to run through a couple different drills. The first section that I attended was the goalie section with Peter Cech, and they actually had the new evoPOWER goalkeeper gloves there as well. So they gave us some gloves to try out. Obviously Cech kind of deflected some balls on net. We got to feel the gloves for 2 or 3 or 4 shots. Again, kind of a little bit of a gimmicky thing. We got to play a little game of I guess it was a game, but there was no using your feet. We were throwing the ball and then you had to head the ball into goal. So kind of an interesting little variation on a scrimmage that I guess would be a lot safer for Peter Cech to actually do. Difficult to tell in the video because we're all wearing the same stuff, but we were definitely on 2 different teams for those that are wondering. We just kind of had to know based on when we were split up. The second thing was the actual punching bags that you guys could see in the one section, and that was all based on accuracy. What we wanted to do was hit the smaller black bags or the really small ones on the edges that were kind of circular. The big red ones that said evoPOWER on them, those were targets that were ones that you did not want to hit. You wanted to hit the bigger black one, or you wanted to hit the smaller round balls closer to the side. So that was a little bit of an accuracy test. And then the third station was that net that you guys saw. It was basically just a wall in the shape of a net with the little cutouts, which is basically just target practice. So all of the events were basically just to try out the shoes. As far as media members that were there, obviously I attended. I wasn't 100% familiar with pretty much anybody else there. I know there were other people who did YouTube there as well, but there were a lot of international YouTubers based on what I can tell. So not ones that speak English, which again, I wouldn't necessarily be familiar with them. So aside from those media members that were, I guess, part of the YouTube scene, there were also a lot of just kind of regular local London newspaper and media members who didn't necessarily know anything about soccer equipment or sports equipment in general, but they got to attend. As far as what they gave us at the event, obviously we got the shoes themselves, which everybody was wearing at the event, and basically what you saw everybody wearing is what we got. We got the shirt that I'm actually wearing right now. There was a jacket, which I personally didn't wear at the event just because I found it kind of warm in that building as it was, so I didn't want to wear a jacket. I don't know if it's just because I'm Canadian and I just didn't find it all that cold there, but nonetheless, they gave us the shirt, the jacket, a pair of pants that we were wearing, as well as a pair of socks, and all of that was packaged inside of a string bag that we got to all take home with us, so that was pretty cool. The balls that were there were the new evoPOWER balls. I assume that's the newer variation. I have used them before. They were brand new balls, which if you've ever used a brand new match ball, they kind of require a little bit of break-in. They can be a little bit firm, they can be a little bit slick against your foot, and that's kind of what I found from the balls themselves. And my other issue was that the actual turf that they laid down was more so just for the sake of aesthetics. It wasn't actually the type of turf that you would want to actually run around and play on. It was very, very shallow. And quite honestly, if you tried to do any kind of running and changing direction, it was extremely slippery. So you really had to take it easy, even when striking the ball, because like I said, it was a very, very slick surface to do these little drills that they had us do at the event itself. Now, again, you guys get to see at the end of this video a little bit of discussion in terms of Giroux and Petr Cech being asked about the new equipment that was being launched at this particular event, and they gave fairly generic answers, as you would expect from any kind of endorsed athlete. If you've ever seen an interview, especially for soccer players, in regards to their equipment, they generally tend to say that they like the shoes because they're comfortable, they're light, and they don't tend to give much else beyond that. They just like to say, I like the shoes, and that's about it. And that's what they have to say, because obviously they're being paid to endorse that particular product. So they don't want to say anything negative. They don't want to say anything that could be, I guess, misinterpreted as something that is not a positive outlook on this brand new product that they're at a launch event for. So you guys will see in the interview, the answers themselves are pretty generic, and there's really nothing you could ask these guys that we're going to get them to give you an answer that was not as generic as what they ended up giving pretty much every single time. There were opportunities at the end to do some kind of a one-on-one interview, although it was just mobs of people kind of crowding Giroux and Petr Cech the entire time. I actually kind of felt a little bit bad for them, just because, again, it was so many people asking the same questions over and over again. A lot of people were asking Giroux about the really good goal that he scored not too long ago, that little kind of scorpion back heel kick that he did. And with Petr Cech, they were asking him a lot of stuff about the league and just the team in general. None of the questions, or the majority of the questions, weren't really about the equipment. The event ended up kind of turning into an interview for the sake of what's going on with the inside workings of Arsenal versus the actual shoes and the gloves that were being unveiled, if you will, at the actual press event. I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't have kind of a designer there or something like that. In terms of somebody who could actually give us some insight on the design process of the shoe and kind of how they came to certain conclusions with what the final design ended up being. I thought that would have been really, really cool. But like I said, the two representatives from Puma that were there speaking at the event didn't necessarily have that insight. They were kind of just higher up positions that, like I said, weren't necessarily involved in the designing and, I guess, the making of the shoe, if you will. But the shoe itself, for those that are wondering, I think is very, very good. Obviously, before I attended this event, I did have the pre-release version of the evoPOWER Vigor 1 with the camo colorway, if you will. So I already had experience with the shoe in terms of wearing them. So I already went to this event kind of knowing that I was really happy with the new evoPOWER in general. I think it's a very good shoe, by the way, and you can expect to see more content on the general release colorways of the evoPOWER Vigor 1 very soon. I actually have them right here behind me, the green ones that we wore at the event, and a black and pink one, which is kind of like an alternate launch colorway. So look out for those to go up on the channel very, very soon. But that pretty much sums up the event, guys. It was not really something that is as serious as perhaps a lot of these brands would lead you to believe. They hold these events for the sake of having people who have, I guess, larger relevant social media platforms to kind of advertise their product for them. It is not free advertising, but it's generally pretty good exposure when they launch a brand new product to have relevant media at an event, posting all kinds of different stuff on the internet about their product and getting people pumped up about the new evoPOWER, be it the shoes or the gloves. The gloves, if you want me to give an opinion on them, they felt like gloves to me. Honestly, guys, I'm not a goalkeeper, as you guys saw from my incredible highlights there, but they felt like gloves. They felt fine. But again, I don't know all that much about goalkeeper gloves, so I can't really give a solid opinion. But the shoes, I'm a big fan of them. I think it is the best variation of the evoPOWER that we've seen so far. And I'm excited to get a lot more time in them. Expect more content on the evoPOWER Vigor 1 on this channel very, very soon. But that is pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. I guess final notes regarding the event. It's a very long travel day to go from Canada to London, England. It's about 11 hours in the air and about 13 to 14 hours total travel time. And then once you're there, it's a 5-hour time difference. So you're completely screwed up. I was very tired the majority of my time there. But like I said, it was still a very cool experience. I'm very glad that I went. And again, thank you so much to Puma for inviting me out to this. Hopefully I get invited to more of these in the future. I think it's cool for the channel. It's cool for content on the channel. And it's cool for you guys to a certain extent because you guys get to see the shoes the second that they're launched at these launch events. And again, it's just something that I think is really cool for the sake of creating really cool and unique content. So again, hopefully I get invited out again when future events are held. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Obviously, I wouldn't be invited to an event like this if it wasn't for your support and your I guess subscribing to my channel and following my content. I really do appreciate that. If you have any questions regarding the event, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave you to the presentation that was held at the launch event talking about the Puma evoPOWER Vigor 1. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone. Hello. Thank you for being here in London for the launch of the evoPOWER Vigor. I'm Clément from Puma, working in our headquarters in Germany in the marketing team. And I want to welcome Stefano Favaro on stage. He's our creative director for Team Sport and he's going to take you through some of the product benefits of the new evoPOWER Vigor.
Thank you very much, Clément. Bonjour. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So, that's not me actually, but I'm really happy to represent the football design team back in Germany. That this season has been able to deliver such a great boot for our players. And actually our players are the first thing we think about when we design a new boot. As football is becoming faster, they become faster, not all of them, but most of them, they become faster, and the market of football is also faster. So we need to give them always the best tool to play with. And back in 2014, we introduced our concept of barefoot kicking. We want to continue this because we think it's really relevant. We really think that by allowing the foot the best flexibility, we increase the power and the accuracy. And of course, our seasonal creative direction, explosive. This is something that has been an inspiration for all designers. We asked them to be more creative this season. And at least in my opinion, what they've been able to do with this boot, if you consider that we have to design only a new upper, and if you think about the previous boot, that looks completely different than the predecessor. A few sketches of the initial boot. Of course, you can see how the design team has been concentrated into deliver a better flexibility, so divided the upper in two main layers, one which is the upper layer here, which is all like with this pattern that flex in a longitudinal way, and then the second layer, which is for the first time we introduced a slip-on construction on the evoPOWER boot. A very important mention is about the material. You remember the upper foam? This is called upper foam 3D. It's actually more visible in this destroyed upper. But actually, this material, the funny story is that we developed the first time this material only on one side, but then we see that by injecting this PU foam in both sides, you can establish really a good connection between foot and the ball. So it's really elastic, so it allows even more flexibility. Very important for us. And then more aesthetic inspiration. As you can see, the green is coming from this beautiful animal, so we want to try to be dangerous as this animal is. And this is where the green is coming from. I think that's it. No, there's a more video. Okay, cool. So before handing over to Clement again, main takeaways in terms of design, use the pump construction for the first time on the evoPOWER, the 3D accu foam, the tooling doesn't change, but you still with the concept of barefoot kicking and the grip packs for the better ball control. That's it from my side, and enjoy the rest of the day.
What a goal, right? I think it's probably already the goal of the year. And that was with the old evoPOWER, so imagine what you can do now with the new one. So enough of Stefano or me, I think you all want to see our guys from Arsenal, so I'm going to welcome on stage Olivier and Peter. Hello guys. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What about you?
Good, good.
Good.
So
good?
I'm good, thank you. Olivier, no pressure, but if you did that with the old evoPOWER, what can you do with the new one now?
I'm sure I can do even better. I mean, because Puma always wants to improve their boots, so I need to improve myself. Obviously,
no pressure
to be at the same level. No pressure. But yeah, no, I feel very well in these new boots, and as I said before, I could have scored a couple of goals with the new one, the camouflage.
The camo, yeah.
Yeah, very nice by the way, nice color. So yeah, I have to adapt myself because it's totally different boots than the previous one, the previous evoPOWER. But I have to say that they are much lighter. I have better grip, you know, for my quick feet. Everyone I know, I'm very quick when I change direction. So yeah, no, I need it. I need a good stud, you know, and yeah, they are light, they are comfy. So yeah, hopefully they're gonna score more goals.
A lot of more goals, we hope. Peter, you've been with us from this summer, basically. So it's your first season wearing our gloves and boots. How did it feel so far? And have you had a chance to test new boots and new gloves? And what do you think of them?
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm still here, which means that I'm enjoying the time with Puma. And obviously, I'm very happy with the products. And as Olivier said, you know, the common motto for everybody at Puma is to improve and to go better and to get better. And I think that, you know, with the new products, this is exactly what's happening. And I have to say, I agree with Olivier. You know, when you're in goal, you need to have a stability, and the goalkeeper's change of direction is very violent. So you need to have a good outsole and the support in the boot. And I think, you know, you can see there are a lot of features which keeps the boot really tight to your foot. And it helps obviously the stability, so I'm very happy with that. And obviously, the main part is the glove. And I like the glove because it just suits my needs. And you know, I love glove to be soft and obviously have a good grip and a kind of I like the glove to be like my second skin, and this is, I like it.
So good to hear. So as you can see, we have 3 stations, so we were meant to have a third player that unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he still wanted to send you a small message, so we're gonna watch it now.
Hello everybody, hola a todos. Bueno, mis disculpas por no poder estar hoy aquí con vosotros. La verdad que me hubiera gustado estar, pero estoy en Alemania preparando y entrenando a tope para esta segunda fase de la Bundesliga. Y nada, espero poder estar a la próxima con todos vosotros. Y nada, daros un fuerte abrazo y que vaya todo muy bien.
So, as you know, in Germany they break for 1 month in winter because the winter is pretty tough there. And unfortunately, Bartra had 2 trainings today, so he couldn't be here with you guys. But now, enough talking. You are all going to go to the changing room, get dressed, and you're going to be placed in different groups, and you will have a chance to test the products with Olivier and Peter. So enjoy and play loud.